And we are back here, RadioFriday.com. Yours truly, Diamond K. In here, I have a special guest, and we're going to talk about recovery, redemption, and all those kind of good things. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Soraya Parker.
How you doing?
Hello, people.
You good?
Yes, I'm really
glad
good.
that you came through. I guess let's start at the beginning. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, B-More, in
Okay.
the house.
East side or west side?
West side.
Okay, good. I just wanted to know what kind of conversation we was gonna have. So how would you describe your childhood?
I would describe it, full.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Full of love.
Yeah, definitely full of love.
You think you were
Challenges.
You think you were rebellious?
Oh, I know I was rebellious.
Okay.
That was my middle name.
What made you rebellious?
Not knowing who I was.
Okay.
Not having a voice.
You felt like you didn't have a voice.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like that?
Growing up too fast at a young age. So once you want to speak about some things you're not supposed to speak about at that young age,
Right.
You're not being heard.
Right. Well, definitely. So like adults, older people shutting you down, like staying in child's place.
Well, that's
that
just
kind of
how I
stuff.
perceived it.
And that's probably normal, like normal stuff. Did you hang around older people?
All my life,
Okay.
I've always been around older people.
Why?
I felt like I can relate to them more.
So you felt like people your age were immature
Very immature.
and older. So where did hanging with an older crowd get you?
Oh my God, nowhere.
In trouble? Got you in trouble?
Yes. It was fun trouble at times.
Okay. So tell me about it. Where? So as you started to, so was hanging with older people, was that something that was encouraged, or was that something that people was like, nah, you don't need to be doing that?
I actually don't have no regrets meeting them. I can't say it was encouraged. I can't say that. I mean, like, people that's like a Christian or whatever, they always say don't hang around older people. What's said in the house, stay in the house, things like that. So I can't say it was encouraged, but I don't have any regrets at all being around them.
Okay. No, I can understand that. So when did things start to become very challenging for you?
I'm gonna say this. I went through some things at a young age that no child should have went through,
Okay.
and that changed my whole outlook on life itself.
Okay.
Especially when you're trying to explain yourself without saying too much or something like that, and you're being shut down.
Okay.
But it got real challenging at 12 because I had a full-time job making really good money.
At 12?
At 12. Full-time job making really, really good money. Always had my hair and nails done, buying my clothes, and I was still going to school full-time.
Right.
So
As you should at 12.
I don't think so. That was growing up.
You should be going to school at 12.
No, yeah, definitely.
The other
school.
stuff, no. But
Right,
yeah.
but so that also made me feel like I was an adult at a very young age. So, of course, I wanted to do adult things since I was making adult money and had an adult job.
Sure.
So, things got challenging around that time, and don't get me wrong, I always loved challenges, but some of them weren't too good. But the nightlife had me captivated for a good while.
So we're talking about nightclubs, party scene. We're talking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And in excess. So we talking about drinking. We talking about extracurricular activities. We talking about pills. What we talking about specifically?
Well, I started with drinking and weed.
Okay.
Then right after that, it was cocaine, sniffing it.
Okay.
And when you have money and you have drugs, I mean, it's like you feel like you have everything. You don't need nothing else.
Right.
To a person like me.
Right.
Let me say me. Because I grew up in a Christian atmosphere, in a Christian home. And, anything that was outside of Christianity was like, oh, my God, I want to do that again.
So do you think, and I've talked to people about this often, do you think that growing up in a household that was a Christian household, like you're saying, was religion something that was pushed a lot in the house?
To me, I feel like that.
So did that make you want to
Rebellious?
to be involved in what they call worldly activities even more
Most
because
definitely.
it was so strict? Did you feel like that?
Definitely. Especially when you want to learn about stuff and then, I mean, maybe you ask a question and that question turns into something else. And it's like, it was just a question. I just wanted to know. But since you can't find out by your home, you go on the outside and say, well, I'm just going to go hard. I'm going to do this right. You know, I'm going to go to somebody experienced.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I understand that. And so I'm sure that when drugs and when alcohol and weed turned to cocaine, that was something that was not pleasing to your family, I'm assuming.
Most definitely not. But it was very pleasing and very...
To you?
Yes.
Okay.
It was like living two different lives, you know, in one body. I mean, anybody that's able to do something, even say it's a secret life or something, you know, living two secret lives. One is having a mask on, being so churchy and religious, and it's really not sure God you're serving, but it's your mother and father God because you're not there yet.
Is that what you felt like?
That's exactly what I was doing.
Right.
I didn't experience the love of God until like only shy of 2 years now.
Okay.
And I can honestly say I have a God, which is the Almighty, and that I believe in, and I can feel His love on a daily basis.
So, so there was a period of time when you were, I guess, like you said, you're hiding this from your family, right?
Yes.
And then you're going out and then doing what you want to do, and then you're coming back. So I'm sure that got hard to do after a while.
It couldn't have been that hard because I was doing it for 26 years.
You did it for 26 years.
26 hard, not life years.
So when did you realize that things had to change?
It was something inside me that was burning. Like, it was like something calling me. And you couldn't just run from it. You know, it was no escaping it with the drugs. And I mean, drugs was like, it started all before the drugs with things going haywire inside of me. But after that, the drugs got harder.
Harder than cocaine?
Most definitely. And I just wanted to let you know that it wasn't just cocaine, but I was smoking rock. I was doing ecstasy. I was doing a piece at PCP. I was also doing shooting. I started shooting. You know, anywhere I can get a vein, I was shooting from my neck to my toes.
Okay.
And I mean,
That's hard.
I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but I think that was straight white people stuff. You know, and that's how I learned how.
Is that how you got introduced to that level?
Yeah. Yeah. I felt like either I was going to go hard or I was going to go home. And I went hard.
So I guess, since you said go hard, go home, I guess was there a point where you couldn't go home?
Only because I didn't really want to. And I realized that now, like, all my life I was lying to myself, like, they don't want me, they don't love me, I don't want to be here, let me leave. But it wasn't really they not accepting me. I just didn't accept myself. And I wanted so much more from someone else when I couldn't even give myself the love and care that I needed.
Okay. So when things got to a point where so did you ever try to stop?
Several times, but it was just replacing the drug with like another drug, like Suboxone. I was taking the 12 milligram of Suboxone 3 times a day, and then I was on methadone, taking 170 milligrams of that. You know,
how were they administering this to you?
One come in a juice, and one come with a tablet that goes under your tongue, and it just dissolves. And it's supposed to be a blocker from you being able to get high off any opiates. But my body got used to opiates, so I got high any kind of way.
Did you lose friends along the way?
I didn't lose friends that I didn't want.
No. I mean other users. Did anybody die?
Oh,
that you
several
knew?
people die, but when you using, you expect. Well, I expected. You know, the way I was using, I didn't expect to live to this day. Like I always had it in my mind, if I'm gonna go today, I'm going out right. So I never expect anyone to really live long the way we were getting high. If they got high with me, you know, we got high.
So what did a when you were at the worst point, what did a day consist of for you? So you would wake up, like what time would you wake up?
That's if I even went to sleep. Sometimes I stay up for almost like 2 weeks at a time.
You stayed awake for 2 weeks at a time?
The only time I went to sleep is when I nodded off for a couple of minutes and came back. So that's not no sleep.
Right.
Or I probably went out by shooting something in me and it was too much. And then I woke up 3 hours later with my tongue bleeding and swollen and my head hurting, my eyes hurting because I probably died and came back to life or I had a seizure or something. And that happened on countless times of me using.
Yeah. So a day was what? So you said a lot of times you wouldn't go to sleep. So what morning? What is the morning like? What are you doing in the morning?
I felt like a vampire. I always wanted to be a vampire. I was like, if I'm gonna be immortal, I want to be a vampire. So that's how I lived. You know, morning, like if I see daylight, I would close the like curtains and like get my stuff together so I can get real high and not see the daylight, not hear the birds, just be in another world. You know, so my day consists of like a lot of drugs, like at least 500 or more, $500 or more. You know, I did several grams of dope and lots and lots of cocaine. I mean, there's times I did an ounce within 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just so people can get a visual of how far you have come, let's take a look at this picture. So describe this before picture. What was going on here?
It's funny because I didn't even know that picture existed until the beginning of this year. Mm-hmm. And what I had on my phone was like an app lock, where though if somebody stole my phone while I was nodded off or something, it would take a picture of them when they put the wrong code in.
Right.
So really, I was the thief. That was me, stealing my own life from myself. You know.
Right. Right.
Didn't even know it existed, but it was a wake up call for me.
And so you kept the picture.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because like you said, you didn't even realize that the picture was there. And then this is you now.
Yes. Yes.
So this has been a journey. Definitely, that is. It looks like two different people, honestly.
It was.
But you can see if you really look closely, you can see it. But you really gotta. You know what I mean?
I laugh every time I see that picture, only because it's like, oh my God, I made it. Like, if you don't know there's a God, just look at that picture. And you say, it's got to be something greater out here than life itself. Because there's no way in the world someone can look like that to now. Right. I look at that picture and I just laugh like, oh my God, I really made it. So what is my calling? You know, what is I'm supposed to do next? And then something I read one day, and it stuck with me, and it said, God just don't call on the qualified, but he'll qualify the call. And I feel like I'm the call.
Yeah. So people just tuning in, you listen to the Diamond K Show, radioonfire.com. I'm sitting here with Miss Soraya Parker, and we are talking about the road that she's been on. And so what was it that actually pulled you out from the darkness, if I could say?
Like I said, it was a burning sensation inside of me. Since I've been exposed to God and church and, you know, Christians, I knew a little bit about God, but the God that I knew about, I never perceived him to be a loving and caring God. That's just to be honest. When I grew up, it was so strict that if We went outside with pants on because it was too cold outside. We was going to hell because we was trying to be like a man. If you went out with makeup on, you was a Jezebel, you was definitely going to hell. If you put any piercings on you, you was going to hell. And I mean, I think that's why I had so many piercings at the age of 18, because I was like, forget this. I got 5 tattoos and 3 piercings at the age of 18, because it was like, if I'm going to go to hell, I'm going to go to hell with a bang. You know, because he did not seem loving and caring. And then when I found out I didn't go anywhere, but just living in his life, it was like, they lied to me. So I became very, very resentful. Very.
So where are you resentful now?
Actually, I'm a work in process. That's all I can say. I'm not resentful. I try not to be resentful. I try to live my life like God, because when people see me, all I want them to do is see God. You know, if they knew who I was and they know what I am now, they was like, it gotta be a God. And it's like so hard for me not to smile on a daily basis. You can't tell me I don't have 32 teeth. That's how much I smile every day. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well,
like, I counted them and I only have 17 and a half, but you can't tell me I don't have 32. I does this on a daily basis, and it makes me feel so good inside. Like, I love me some me now.
So that's good. So how are you're sober and clean?
Yes, definitely.
How did this happen? I mean, aside from, you know, the believing in your creator and that kind of stuff, what actual steps did you take?
Let me tell you what happened on my last day of using. Well, the day before my last day of using. I had no more answers, and I couldn't go anywhere else. I did the methadone, I did the Suboxone, I did so much. And I was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore, so I'm going to go where I first learned about God, and that's at church. So I went to church, and it was this minister there, and I was going crazy. Like, I already been getting high for days, and something inside of me kept saying, Soraya, come as you are, and I got you. I can't say it was God. I don't know what it was, but it kept saying to me repeatedly, come as you are, and I got you. So I went in there as I was, crazy, ballistic, crying all over the place. I mean, they probably thought I was like possessed, you know, and they didn't turn me away. It was like the most amazing feeling I ever had in my life. I never knew that people like Christians could be so loving, because I haven't had that experience ever. So I went in there, and they was like, you know, don't act up in here, and we got you after church. Little did they know, in my mind, I was saying, if I have to act up in here to get some help, that's what's going to happen. So that's just where I was at with it. And I stayed in church. They held my hand. I got saved that day. They went to take me to a hospital. They stayed with me the whole time. And when I was in the hospital, they couldn't find a vein. They was like, we need to take her blood before she goes to a rehab. They worked on me for about 6 hours and could not find a vein, you know. And it was hard for me, but I was like, okay, if I don't get out of this one, either I'm going to die or I'm going to kill somebody. And that's where I was at. So after that, they sent me home the next day, and I always had weapons on me because I was just crazy like that. So I was like, don't send me home without my knife. They was like, the knife is too big. You're going home without the knife, you know, and you just have to wait until the next day. Call us, and we'll send an Uber, and we'll take you to the rehab. So I went home where the drugs was at. Of course, I had a lot of drugs stashed all over the place, and I'll say at 12 o'clock on the dot, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to throw everything away. So I was getting high, and then around like 11:58, I started breaking all the heights, throwing all the drugs away, crushing all the stems, and I was done. So by the 5th, 12 o'clock a.m. on June the 5th, I was done, and I never looked back since.
Well, that's good. That's good. What kind of reaction have you been getting from your family and friends about this decision?
Actually, to be honest, I like
Please,
to be
please
honest,
be honest.
it really didn't matter what that reaction was going to be. I did it for myself this time. For so long, get yourself together, Soraya.
No, it's okay.
For so long, I was living like everybody else wanted me to live. And it didn't help me at all. I was always lost. I didn't know who I was. I mean, I was out in the streets, didn't know if I wanted to be a boy or a girl. I was managing females for a very long time. I made a lot of money, and I couldn't stop using. So the fact that I got to this point, I had to have a I don't care attitude, because that's one of the reasons why I stayed high for so long. Caring about everybody else and what they thought about me. So I had to find who I was. And the hardest thing I had to do on the day I made this decision was tell my mom, no, I didn't want to see my kids. I didn't want her to come visit me. Let me go. And that was the best decision I made in my life.
And you didn't want that for what reason?
Because it never worked when I did it for somebody else. Mm-hmm. Not one time it ever worked. And I tried many, many times. I done been in a couple rehab centers, and doing it for my kids, or someone saying, you need to do these for your kids. Stop being so selfish, this and that. Okay, let me try to do it for my kids. It didn't work.
It didn't work.
Do it for your mom. Do it for your father. You know what I mean? Do it for the church. Do it for anything but you. Just try. Stop being so selfish. It didn't work. So I had to be completely selfish and all about me. And it's crazy because now I'm a part of a 12-step program. And it's a selfish program to help you be selfless. But you have to be selfish first.
Right. And it's been helping.
Oh, my God. It's more than helping. I'm here today with 17 and a half teeth just doing my thing.
Yeah, that's really good. I commend you for that. So what advice could you give to a person who is watching, who is where you've come from?
The only advice I can give is what I've been through myself. If it's not for you, I'm not going to say it's not hope, but I just can't see you really going but so far, because you're not going to be happy with yourself if you're doing it for someone else. You have to completely surrender to this thing. You have to have it in mind and learn that you cannot beat this drug game.
Right.
Until you find out the truth about you, because it takes a lot of guts to find out about you. It took a lot of guts to find out that I had 30 personalities and each one of them had a good and bad. So that means I was just crazy. I ended up in a mental institution. Everything they say about a drug is true. Until you come face to face with yourself and say, look, this is something I want for me, I don't believe it's going to work. I mean, some people might get lucky. People might get blessed. Some people just might have a chance. I don't know. But one thing I can say about this game is that it's a learning experience. And if you make it through, you can be one to help many, many people out here. And that's all I want. I want to be a person of value. I don't want to be a person of success. I don't want to be a person that make a lot of money. I just want to be able to help some people. That's better than any money you can ever give me. I want some
Absolutely.
Priceless stuff, and I think that's priceless. Being able to help someone, being able to say, look, I'll hold your hand like somebody held my hand. I can go through this with you because I already been through it. You know what I'm saying? We can share this pain together, but I didn't just need the 12-step program. I needed some spiritual stuff too, and 3 counselors. You know, I
Right.
needed a shrink, psych doctor, a regular doctor. You know, it wasn't easy, but it was surely worth it. You know, and you have to find a God of your understanding. I mean, you have to find something that you truly believe in, and you'll be well on your way with that if you start believing in something greater than yourself, because we're very selfish when we do drugs. And if you believe in some people that is willing to be able to do some of the things that they've been through and willing to help you through it, no matter if you fall or not, then the change is amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
that's that's good, and like you said, you are really a living testament to what can happen. It's never too late.
Sometimes it's never too late.
You thought it was too late for you,
Right.
but it wasn't.
It wasn't.
But you thought it was.
Right.
Yeah,
You're right.
and you made it through. And I think the other part that I really like that you say is that it's always a work in progress. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
Each day, I'm sure that you got good days, you got bad days.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But you know that you got to keep working at this.
Definitely. And I have more good days than bad days only because I would do things like look at that picture.
Right.
Or I play the tape over. You know, sometimes people get too Christian on me and say, you're not that person anymore, so you can put that behind you. I'm like, shut up.
Right.
Just please don't let me trip you while you walk down the aisle.
Right,
God
right.
forgive me if I said anything wrong, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I had to put myself on a cussing diet for over a year to do better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had to go to meetings every single day. I had to go to several doctors in a month. When I was in the mental institution, they had me on 14 different kind of pills. You know, now I'm not on any pills other than stuff to help me sleep at night and it's not addictive. You know what I'm saying? From 14 to something that just help you sleep. I think that is winning for real.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
I'm not going to say I'm religious because I'm really spiritually bound and grounded. Let me say that. I'm still scared of the religion thing because of all the stuff I've been through as a child with the religion.
Okay.
I don't say it was a walk in the park, but I can appreciate the God that I understand now, which is God Almighty, the one and the only, my dog, my nigga sometimes. You know, like I can call him my nigga sometimes, like, my nigga, please just help me through this. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't judge me.
Right.
You know, the God that I have. You
Gotcha.
know, he got me to this point. Sometimes he know I got to be a little thuggish, and sometimes I can be a lady. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's times that all I did was wear boxes. Now I'm learning how to wear panties. I mean, so, you know, I've been through a lot. But the fact that I'm here today, and I'm going on 2 years clean, I don't have much not to smile about.
Absolutely. So are you active on social media?
Every day.
So
Every
do
day.
you talk with people about your journey? You share what do you do on social media?
Every now and then I give them a little piece of my journey. You know, a lot of times it's just encouraging words or just the smile, the 17 and a half teeth smile. Like some people always say, like, girl, I love that smile. I'm like, 17 and a half can do you justice. You know, like, dang, they like this. What if I had 32? They really be like on me. But it's just like, I do try to encourage people all the time. People that have been there from the very beginning when I first started in social media, they still to this day, every single day, giving me encouragement.
That's
As
good.
I'm trying to encourage them.
That's good. That's
You
good.
know.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So I appreciate you coming through and sharing your story and because this is not an easy thing to do to sit and just kind of bare your soul. So I definitely appreciate and thank you for coming through here.
It's
Anything you want to say
honor.
before we end?
No, but if you ever want to be encouraged, you want to smile, you know, or you just want to just see something different, you always can look at me on social media, Soraya Parker, and I just do what I do best, and that's just like say cheese.
Of course, on social media, I'm at the Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Radio on Fire, the voice of urban America. We can't do what we do without your support, so definitely your subscriptions, your donations. RadioOnFire.com/join is where you go. And I'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Thank you again.
No problem. Yes, I love you.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.